Have you understood what your healthcare provider has told you? He's told you you have type 2 diabetes or are pre-diabetic. You know you have a pancreas, you learned that at school along with a lot of other information you didn't think you really needed. You know what I mean, don't you? Type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetic, insulin, blood glucose levels, and that pancreas again. These are some of the words your healthcare provider has mentioned to you. It sounds like a foreign language. What does it mean and why did this happen to you? There is a lot to learn about type 2 diabetes, just take a day at a time. A lot of people may say to you, if you had not eaten so much fat, had such a sweet tooth, eaten more fiber, exercised more, or not done many of the things most people do, you would not be either pre-diabetic or have type 2 diabetes. Could you have avoided type 2 diabetes? It is associated with obesity, so people do assume excess weight is the cause. In order to get type 2 diabetes, you need the diabetic gene. Without this gene, you could lie around all day, eat fries, and not get diabetes. It's a little more complicated, but it's helpful to know about the gene. A lot of people find they become really hungry when their blood glucose, sugar, levels vary greatly. You probably have had poor blood glucose control for years before being diagnosed. So after every meal your blood glucose would go very high, then come back down. This is when you would have again become hungry and then eaten more. And then it just repeats itself. This is one reason you have put on weight. What does insulin do? When you eat food, the body converts it into glucose. Glucose is then taken up by the brain and muscles. This helps you to keep thinking and to keep moving. The brain does not need insulin to take up glucose. The muscles require a key to allow the glucose to cross the cell membrane. Without sufficient insulin, the key cannot be turned to allow enough of the glucose to enter the muscle cells. The glucose just builds up in the bloodstream and causes problems. If you are overweight, it's likely you are producing plenty of insulin, it just can't get through. This is called insulin resistance. When this happens, your body compensates by making more. After several years, the beta cells in the pancreas can't keep up with the demand and become worn out. Then the beta cells are unable to produce all the insulin you need. At this stage, you are normally diagnosed with type 2 diabetes due to your elevated blood glucose levels. For some people with type 2 diabetes, all they have to do to keep their blood glucose levels within the normal range is to watch their weight, eat the right diet, and be active.